7 college presidents. If you all could please stand. President Jackson from Truman, President Hollingsworth from Al Harvey, President Sanders from Malcolm X, President Potash from Wright College, President Janowski from Daly College, and Interim President Peggy Morales from Harold Washington, and Vice President Eddie Phillips from Kennedy King College. Thank you all. And also, Mark Potter, who is our co-host, is joining us today. We appreciate all of you who have come out today. Also want to thank you and your organization for the work you do all year round. Your work changes the lives of our students, and that can't be mentioned enough. You'll hear exactly what I mean from a couple of students later this morning. I also want to recognize the team from Road Trip Nation. If you all can please stand. They might have stepped out. But they helped to make this important conversation possible today, and you'll hear more from them later. Today is a showcase for City College's community partnerships and programmatic partnerships. The groups here today have helped students in and out of the classroom. And together, we help City Colleges create access to education across the city. In just a few minutes, you'll hear from Juan Salgado, the Chancellor of City Colleges of Chicago. If you know our Chancellor, you know he's a community activist, organizer, and connector at heart. He believes City Colleges should provide access to all communities and neighborhoods. We should be a vehicle for students to transform their lives and change their future. He also believes that it takes a village. In other words, this cannot be done without our partners, resources, and support from the people and organizations here today. At CCC, we're about meeting students where they are, whether it's food or housing support, assistance in obtaining employment, scholarships, or any other need. Today is an excellent example of how City Colleges, with your help, does exactly that. I would like to bring up Nicole Woodworth from Road Trip Nation.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here with you all. My name is Nicole Woodworth, and I am a Partnerships Program Manager at Road Trip Nation. So I always like to start this out by show of hands before this morning who's heard of Road Trip Nation and that bright green RV. Okay, so about half of us, which is great. So we are a nonprofit career exploration organization, and we create a variety of products and services that help learners of all ages figure out what their aptitudes, passions, and interests are, and how those align to a fulfilling career pathway. And so our flagship product, and the one that we're most known for, is our documentary series on public television. And so every documentary features 3 students or adult learners, we call them road trippers, and they get to road trip across the United States in a bright green RV, which looks like that, and they get to talk to leaders and professionals in a particular field or profession or career that they are interested in. So all of those conversations and the road trippers' kind of journeys along their road trip are filmed by our in-house production team at Road Trip Nation, and all of that content is post-produced into usually a 1-hour special that airs on public television. And so at Road Trip Nation, we partnered with the ECMC Foundation to bring to life the stories of 3 students pursuing community college and kind of just showcasing their journeys to and through post-secondary success. And so we are very, very honored to showcase some of that content here today. The film is called One Step Closer. So thank you for the opportunity to show some of this content. You guys will also hear from one of our road trippers from the film a little bit later in the program. So for now, please enjoy the short trailer. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Good. Really great. I'm Juan Salgado. I'm the Chancellor of City Colleges of Chicago. I'm so delighted to be here today. I want to thank Jen Mason, our Vice Chancellor for Community and Legislative Affairs, and her team for thinking about doing something like this. Oftentimes, we're busy doing work. And I really do, as chancellor, believe the most important thing that we can do is do the work itself on a day-to-day basis. That's where true partnership is developed. That's where it's enhanced. And that's where the value creation is made. But it's also important to take a moment to reflect, right? And to activate even more and to celebrate what it means to actually partner. And that's what we're doing here today. I want to thank the folks from Chip Nation and ECMC. The video that you just saw, I think, is really important, right? To tell the story of our students is to tell the story of students that are each on their own journey. And their journey isn't just about a career pathway. It's about a system of supports. And beyond a system of supports, it's about the narrative that was, or a narrative that's felt by them and others, and the narrative that they're creating for themselves, right? That builds upon their strengths, but drives them to a whole nother reality. Our goal at City Colleges is to ensure that all students from across our city, no matter their background, are prepared to contribute their abundant talents and reap the rewards of our city's vibrant economy. We should be able to look out from any neighborhood in this city to any opportunity in this city and see ourselves in that opportunity. We should be able to do that. One thing I recognized when I came here 2.5 years ago, Kennedy King was the site of my first day, was that we had an opportunity to partner with the community. As many of you might know, I came from the not-for-profit community myself. Spent 20 years doing that work. Spent a good part of those years working with City Colleges of Chicago directly. I saw the benefits of holistic student supports. I saw the benefits of what it meant for a community institution to dig deeper into the community, to find new learners and see new possibilities in those learners, but also, together with City Colleges, provide the right system of supports to ensure their success. And that's the kind of partnership that we want to accelerate, and we have been accelerating here at City Colleges of Chicago, because when you get more than one institution focused on our students, when you get a community focused on our students, a couple things happen. First of all, we have to discover our students. They are out there. They have an abundance of talent, creativity, ingenuity. But for many of them, they've been through education before. And education may not have worked for them. Okay, we didn't meet them where they were at along their journey. And that's why they may not have finished. But today we have an opportunity to do that. But we gotta go out and find them. And those community partners help us to find those learners. Help the learners themselves to discover who they are and what they would like to become. Provide the requisite supports. Build the right networks together with CCC so that our students can be successful. We work hard to work with employers to ensure our curriculum is up to date. Our faculty are incredibly talented. We have quality like any other institution of higher education, and more that's being recognized. One of the evidence points not only is the hiring of our students by major companies in this city, but also the fact that our four-year universities are now providing us guaranteed admissions agreements. This is a big deal. The institutions of higher education are saying to our students, you get the grades, you get the GPA, we will admit you, not if, but we will absolutely admit you into our programs of study because we believe in the quality that City Colleges has to provide. Part of the reason why we're here today is we want to make sure that you are well informed about the work that we're doing at City Colleges of Chicago, so that you can carry the word on to others, so that you can share with your networks the good work that we're doing, and so that you too can think about ways in which we could be working together. As a result of some of the partnerships we built, you'll hear today, we have food pantries at all 7 colleges because of our work with the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
laboratory. Hundreds of students have mentors and get additional supports because of the work we do with 1 million degrees. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to because we're going to have people that are going to speak to the resource and community partnerships that we've built. What I really want you to know, right, is what you already know. We are an open access institution. We take all students, but we are really building upon that strength that we have as an open access institution through these community partnerships, ensuring that every resident in the city of Chicago knows that they have a home, an educational home in City Colleges of Chicago. And I do want to say that that message, we need your help to get out, okay? It's spring registration time, and it's a great time to let folks know that education is for them. Post-secondary education is for them. It doesn't matter where you are at in your educational journey. If you don't know how to read or write in your own native language, if you don't speak the English language, if you graduated from high school years ago and haven't had any formal education since, if you didn't graduate, if you're coming out of prison, if matters not at all to us. What matters to us is that that learner took that step to come towards us. What matters to us is that we have partnerships that can help that learner ensure success along the pathway. What matters to us is that we are here to provide an affordable education for our students. Okay? What matters to us is that Chicago's economy be ready to receive them and all of the abundancy of their talents. Okay? But where they're at today is nothing but a strength to us, because our students come with great tenacity, with determination, with a set of skills that are beyond the skills any other post-secondary student has. And that's why partnerships like this, we want to lift them up, because we want to grow them and accelerate them. We want to ensure that wherever there's a learner in Chicago that can be helped with a post-secondary credential, that can attach themselves better to the economy, or just attach themselves to the economy, and earn a better wage and care for their family. We want to make sure that happens. And so I want to thank you for working together with us to make City College a vibrant institution that it is. And I want to thank you for being here today. But enough hearing from me. I now would like to ask Jalen Gibson, a Harold Washington College in Europe alumnus, to share his story and introduce us to our first panel. Jalen?
Good morning. My name is Jalen Gibson, and I was a student at Harold Washington College. I can honestly say that if it wasn't for the partnership that City Colleges has, I wouldn't be standing here today. If it wasn't for the type of organizations represented on the two panels today, I wouldn't have accomplished my goals and be set up for success like I am. Growing up, I learned a lot about life. I learned what it's like to have parents that argue, what it's like to not be able to build meaningful friendships because of moving around so much, and what it's like to live in fear for most of your life because of parents' lifestyle. When I was 12, I was held hostage in my house for 2 hours. Thanks to the mercy of God, I made it out of that situation alive, and I'm thriving today. I learned what it's like to have your whole world shattered. I lost my dad suddenly to a heart attack and a stroke at the age of 22. My son just made 6 months. The fatherless had to become a father. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, but it never felt like home. In fact, no place ever felt like home for me. I moved over 20 different times, lived in 7 different states, and been in 12 different cities. 5 of them being high school before graduating from the now closed Southside Baptist in Oakland. After high school, I headed to DePaul, where I majored in finance. My father became ill, and my family situation forced me to withdraw from DePaul after 2 years. After leaving DePaul, I worked in the warehouse and in fast food. My father passed away. I opted for a new start in Michigan, but my employer there went out of business. I returned to Chicago and applied for the Hero program at Harold Washington College. This changed everything for me. You'll hear more from and about Hero later. When I think of community resources, I think of organizations that can help not only students like me, but the families of students like me. I'm a single father, and I can tell you students often don't know what's available to them. And that's why events like this are so important. The groups represented here change lives. Lives right here in Inglewood. Lives around the city, and lives like mine. So please, keep doing what you're doing. Please continue to help students with housing, financial assistance, career training, and building meaningful relationships. Because City Colleges in Europe believed and supported me, I received a 6-month internship from Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine. I focused on research and serving as a financial administrator in training. This was a game changer for me. Then I was offered a full-time position by Feinberg. I now work as a financial specialist too at Northwestern, where I approve and process transactions for the faculty and staff. At the risk of sounding modest, I feel like I'm on my way. I'm definitely living my dream. I have college credit from DePaul and Harold Washington College, and I applied to continue my undergraduate education at Northwestern, where I received 90% of tuition off because of my status as a full-time employee. So again, I want to thank God, City Colleges, and Europe for providing me the resource to become a successful young man that I am. Now I would like to introduce our first panel. Also, if you look towards the screen, you'll see how to submit the questions for the panel. Joining Chancellor Salgado is Juliana Gonzalez-Cruci, the Executive Director of Center for Changing Lives, and Melissa Flores, the Senior Director of Programs at Erie Neighborhood House, and Aisha Butler, Executive of RAGE, which is right here in Inglewood, and Ray Rendon, the Vice President of Immigration Strategy and Advocacy for Reservation Project, and Kelsey Kleiner, the Associate Director of Youth Programs at Greater Chicago Food Depository.
I don't see my mic. I got it. So where's my mic? It's right here. Wow. Did you hear what Shannon just said? Yeah, that's the kind of city we want to be for everybody. You take a moment and pause. It's a beautiful thing to hear a young man say, with so much promise for the future. So thank you, Jalen, for inspiring us all. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for everything that you do for our city, our residents, and obviously our city hospitals. These are our resource partners. We count on you in different ways to enhance the student experience, to make sure that the talents that you have and the capabilities that you have are brought to our students. So, while we certainly know at City Colleges how you help us advance our mission, I'm curious to know how we help you advance your mission, right? So, I'm not going to go in any order. Anyone that wants to start, just start.
I'll be brave. So, AA with the Resurrection Project, and I don't know if you guys read the news over the weekend, but Chicago actually was just rated the most friendly immigrant city in the entire nation. And I I believe that it is because of organizations here, because of city colleges, because of CPS, because of the mayor's office, because of the aldermen that work together to make sure that we are making Chicago immigrant friendly and advancing people's rights. And so that is part of the work that we do. And being able to tap into the network and reach the students at city colleges, and not just the students that are in Newport Credit, but also the adult learners, the ESL learners, is what has taken us closer to that and made us where we are. And obviously there's more to go, but that partnerships that have been that we have been working with over the last couple of years is really what is allowing us to get there.
Anybody else?
Sure, so I'm Juliana with the Center for Changing Lives, and we are a financial opportunity center, so we work in the domains of financial capability coaching, employment coaching, and resource development coaching. So our partnership with the city community colleges is really in tandem with one another. We help connect people to access and opportunities in the same way our community colleges do. With that said, under our work of resource development coaching, it really is twofold. One area is really supporting our participants or members through public aid, accessing public aid. We offer an office to careers training program, which is a commitment, and it is one incremental step to help people facilitate their goals for financial well-being, should that be a space that they want to access and pursue. And in that resource development coaching, people need income support, and so that's the connection to whether it be a subsidy for helping pay their rent or their mortgage or some other homeless prevention assistance. We have access to that type of resource to really help support someone in times where they are transitioning or going through hardship or really need to focus their time and energy on other things that are helping advance themselves in the space where they want to be. The other side of resource development coaching is really focused on social capital. So there is something to be said about what you know, not who you know. And so we work with that intent in helping to connect people to others. And it's really driven through a Facebook page called Resource Up. And so as people are looking for some sort of, whether it's infotainment, so it could be something that's like, I want to learn more Spanish, and I don't really know how to do this, or I want an introduction to someone who's in a particular field. That's the space where we're helping people really attend to their social capital.
I can go. So RAGE is the Resident Association of Greater Inglewood, and we're based here a couple of blocks from the college. And so our work is really rooted in the community. When you think about community colleges, we are community. We're the community component. And so some of our work is either the advertisement and promotion of the resources and spaces and the things that are here at the college, but then also really working with the students who want to do more advocacy work within the community in which they go to school in. And they're looking to connect with people on the ground here. So a lot of the social justice classes or even student government, they want to be a part of RAGE. They want to come to our meetings. They want to engage with residents within the area. Many of them join RAGE. Many of them become members of RAGE. And so we have this kind of basically a relationship that, it's not just because you're here at this institution, we're also a part of the community, and the school is also a part of the community. And so we've partnered with doing PSAs, we're doing our community meetings here, we have spoke to students here, we've done all type of things that either empower the residents around the institution or either empower the students that are in this institution.
When I think about my education, there was some of the community work that I was engaged in that I learned, I would say, just as much or more from than the actual degree. So thank you for providing that classroom, right, for our students in some respects.
I can jump in. So Kelsey with the Greater Chicago Food Depository, and on any given day, 1 in 8 people in Cook County struggle with hunger. And that includes students. And I think that's really the value of our partnership, is that the Greater Chicago Food Depository and our network of over 700 partners are really united on the belief that a healthy community starts with food. And that we want to kind of come together to make sure all of our community members have access to healthy food items, and that we're working together in partnership to really address some of the food causes of hunger as well. And I think that's really the value of our partnership with City Colleges. It's rooted in that belief that if we can take that worry for students off the table, that they can focus on their education, and it's just one less thing for them to worry about.
So what do you see in terms of utilization of food pantries?
So our partnership with the City Colleges dates back to 2014 when Wright College came to the Greater Chicago Food Depository and recognized a need on their campus. And over that time, we have evolved our partnership from once-a-month pop-up markets to now having established locations at each of the 7 colleges where students can access that support when they need it most. And this past depository fiscal year, we saw nearly 9,000 student visits to the pantries. And so that was during a year where there was a lot of kind of transition and work to get these established on campus. And so we do see that that number most likely increase as we move forward.
Thank you both for coming. Appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Flores. I'm an Erie neighbor in the house. And I like to say that we do all of the work to keep families healthy, happy, and thriving. And it turns out it's a little bit of everything. So I see my favorite 2 Davids. Is it?
I'm sorry. I'm going to pass you.
Thank you. I can use my teacher voice, but I'll use this. So I was saying, we do all the work to keep families healthy, happy, and thriving. And it turns out it's a little bit of everything. And I was saying that I see my favorite 2 Davids in the room, the presidents of Malcolm X and Wright College. So at Erie House, a lot of the work that we do in partnership with City Colleges is creating bridges that innovatively meet families and students where they're at. So a lot of the times, we complement some of their existing bridges. City Colleges has a really thoughtful model in how they take students and bridge them through programs and really thinking about how they're going to succeed. Well, at Erie, we're a lot more flexible. So CBOs can flex in times where colleges can't. So we can do things like on-the-spot tutoring, or we can bridge you with childcare, or we can set you up with an attorney if you're facing situations that maybe compromise your status in the country. So CBOs are really essential to provide and complement the comprehensive services that City Colleges already provides. And we love doing that. So we do that in terms of healthcare at Malcolm X. We get them ready so that they are ready to take that test and then they succeed in our medical assistant programs. But they also thrive when we send them to Humboldt Park. I see my friends in the back where we do manufacturing. And we take young and old and put them through programs. And they get to know and love City Colleges even more because they see that partnerships are with community and in the communities in which they exist.
By the way, why are you even working in CNC? Why are you sending these folks in manufacturing? You know, some people say manufacturing is going away.
So that's a really good question, and I'm glad that you set that up because a lot of folks actually think it's a dying industry. But it couldn't be further than the truth. So we have lots of wonderful partners in the city of Chicago that are continuing to tell us that there are jobs available in the city and that a lot of their tenured people are going to retire very soon. And these are wonderful jobs that pay more than a living wage to comfortably support your family and something that you can probably get through your program in about a year. And that sets you up for success, not only with your education, but you get a job in the city, contributing back to the local economy.
I want to point something out when you said that's really important is even if an industry isn't adding a lot of net new jobs, the number of retirements are scary to that industry. It's a real issue out there. And we're seeing that at Harvard. We opened up an aeronautical engineering maintenance technician program. The average age of the workers in that workforce is like 57, okay?
And so these are the things that we really need to be working on. So thank you for sharing that. I have a question from the audience, and it comes from Jessica Sewell from Senator Tammy Duckworth's office. And I want to thank you, Jessica, and the Senator for your active engagement, your visits to Olive Harvey and some of our other colleges as well, and for the Senator's leadership with the higher ed education reauthorization work that's going on, for inviting us to several meetings where she herself has been there hearing directly from community college leaders. So it's curious that Senator Duckworth, who's doing all the things that we would ask of elected officials, would actually ask, what would you like to see from your elected officials? So I might just answer, go talk to Senator Tammy Duckworth and ask her what she's doing and model your behavior after her. But I don't know how you all would answer that.
I think I could probably start on that. Well, in Inglewood, we have 5 different automatic elected officials. And so a lot of times it causes a lot of confusion, and it really stalls development, and it's really difficult for residents to really navigate through systems, right, through these political systems. What I would like to see, just from thinking about the college, is that all of our elected officials look at Kinnikin as our hub, as our institution for Inglewood, right? It's in the center, what we call downtown Inglewood. 6030 Austin is my downtown. And so,
we are in downtown Inglewood.
Other communities really rally around institutions, or institutions rally around their elected officials, and they work in tangent together to think about revitalization and think about how to engage more community residents. And so even though we are divided by these boundaries, I really think as a hub, this is one place that we can all agree that we can work together and really have Kinnikin College as our anchor institution that push a lot of the things that we want to do. So that's what I would like to see, and that's from the state level, our local level, and so I mean, hopefully that comes to fruition very soon.
All right.
I get that message back out.
We're with you on that one. Anyone else? I'll take one more person. I might have something they want from an elected official.
So we are really fortunate to receive lots of generous support from our senators and representatives. Senator Tino is a big champion of us, Representative Hernandez. But one of the things that we're thinking about right now is what we call, I guess, a crisis in terms of early childhood educators. So we are looking to the state right now and all of our elected officials to really think about supporting us with dollars. So earmarking funds at the state. So talking to ISB and saying, hey, we need money. And we need money to go to city colleges so that we can prepare our city's teachers, our bilingual teachers that are going to serve our communities. So we want to see that. If that's a concrete ask, that's our ask. Like, give us dollars so we can put people through city colleges and earn those credentials so that we can staff our child care centers that are critical to economic success in the city.
And just to make sure that everyone is aware, Truman College is our Center for Excellence in Education, and Dr. Sean Jackson is here today. And he and his team have been working very hard to ensure that the college's position to truly build a pipeline of early childhood educators. And the pipeline that we want is the pipeline that's already in community, the pipeline that already cares, the ones that are bringing their children to the early childhood centers, the parents that are engaged, that want a career in this field, but in a need of a quality institution that they can access in partnership with others. And so, by the way, we've already opened up 3 locations in addition to the work that we're doing at now all 7 colleges in early childhood education. All 7 colleges have early childhood education programs. So we have a platform across the city, okay, that we can build upon, that can hit every part of the city. But in addition to that, we've begun to open up cohorts at early childhood providers so that the parents and community members, they don't actually have to leave the community center to get the education that they need, to come right back into the community center and be that early childhood education professional of the future. And so I appreciate that that's an ask that you have of elected officials, because we share that ask in common. And I think what I'll say is, I don't know what my timekeeper is, I've been looking for my timekeeper. Is it up? I got 5. Okay, she's gonna let me know. Okay, but I really appreciate that we're thinking about these things in holistic ways, right? And that is what's going to. At the end of the day, community colleges are also community development institutions in every respect. We are meeting students where they're at, just like community institutions are. And we are a community institution. And because we're thinking in holistic ways, I believe we're going to get to root causes and new opportunities as a result of this work. So anyway, anybody else? Quick thing you might want to come up with official. If I don't have any more questions from the audience, then I'm going to ask one more question. I do have another question from the audience. Okay. Mark Nixon, Executive Director of District Outreach Initiatives. Mark, where are you at? Hey. Good, really well. Thanks for asking the question. Are there partnership programs currently with CCC that focus on parent engagement that allows parents to have information and contact with city colleges for their children and I suppose be post-secondary students themselves? Right? That's the idea. Well, let me share. I just shared one, right? The work we're doing in early childhood education that isn't exclusively parents, but tends to attract parents, in higher numbers. But I would just say that city colleges as a whole is a parent-friendly institution in every respect. Most of our colleges, not all of them, have early childhood centers in them, that students could access, right? But equally important, almost half of our students are parents themselves who excel at what they do. So our faculty, our staff, this is something that is normal at city colleges. When you come to our courses, you're very likely to be in a class with other parents. And so, and that creates a supportive environment in itself. In addition to the fact that, our scheduling is morning, afternoon, evening, some weekend, right? And so we have an accessibility that's beyond the price point, okay? Now, I will say that I think there's more we can do in supporting parents along pathways. And part of that solution is what we're already doing in colleges with wellness centers that are staffed with licensed clinical social workers, with a new emergency fund that we created that allows students that have some sort of college-related expense. You can't pay the rent, your car breaks down. We have a funded our wellness center, and once a semester access up to $750 for that one-time event. So you stay on track, okay? To our tutoring centers that we have on every campus. There's lots that we're already doing, but I firmly believe that if we're really going to reach parents, and deeper into the population of parents, it's going to take a couple things. One, partnership, but the second thing, and Ed, I would like you to say a little bit about this too, in addition. How do we get parents, motivating other parents, to take the step of education to enhance their family, to show their children the pathway? I know you have done a lot of work in local community, and that's something that I want us to do more of. You have this Navigator initiative.
Appreciation for all of you for, staying committed, right? We all hold each other accountable, right? Because that's a critical part to the success that we need to have. But we stay together, right? Through all things, we stay together because we know what's on the line here. And it's that end point of not just inclusion, but advancement of a society. This is beyond inclusion. You can include folks and not get better as a society. And this is about how we advance, as a human race in Chicago, okay? And that's certainly part of the reason why I'm here as a chancellor of city colleges. I want to are advancing society in Chicago. Put that video up. Right? And I would love to figure out how do you tap into that, right? To inspire students.
So, so at TRP, I think there's probably two programs that fit this area really well. One is Parent Mentor Program, which is also a statewide initiative. What we do is, we recruit, train, and organize parents to be inside the classrooms, primarily in pre-K to 3rd grade. And then we also have a Community Navigator Program, and that's also a citywide program through the Legal Protection Fund. And some of the partners are also here. And what we do is we recruit mainly people that are affected by immigration. I'd say probably 90% are women, 90% are moms, and probably 80% are undocumented themselves, and almost all of them are immigrants themselves. So what we do is we train people on their rights, and then we organize them so that they go around to city colleges, to the local schools and the local churches to give people information about their rights. And because of the STAR Scholarship Program being so critical to the immigrant community in Chicago, they also learn about the STAR Scholarship Program, let people know about the resources that exist in community colleges. We've brought legal clinics to the community colleges, right? And although it's not specifically about how is it that your child can succeed in community colleges, we know that in helping people's immigration status, advising them to renew their DACA, which everybody should be thinking about right now because of what's happening in the Supreme Court, is going to help that child's success. So we've been lucky enough to partner with city colleges to make sure that the navigators come into the classrooms, give people their rights, and refer people to legal services.
We work very closely with Teamwork Inglewood, who's also a partner here in this community, and they have a parent mentor program. And so we're actually hosting a leadership symposium here at King College on December 7th. And with the help of Teamwork Inglewood, CPS, and also the Inglewood Community Action Council, they have identified parents to come in this space for their training so they can actually just come to the college, right? So I think it's levels of engagement, and sometimes folks in our community just won't step foot in institutions like this. And so we want to figure out what are some ways to do that, and through that training or village meetings, that's when a lot of times folks come in and say, oh my God, I didn't know that this exists. On another personal note, my parent actually is a student here right now. The old campus on CCC, she's still broadcasting, but she still had credits left, so she said, I came to a fundraiser that Teamwork was doing, and she said, I didn't know King College was so beautiful, and so she said, I want to re-enroll. So she's in class now. So I think it's parents all over this institution. Is it something specifically for them? I don't know, but I do know that we're trying to find different pathways, at least for parent leaders to be more advocates, to also be connected to higher education as well.
So at the Center for Changing Lives, we do have a multi-generational program within our financial capability work called Money and Us. So we're working with children and their caretakers. And really the root of this model is we're growing it into a promo coders model or an ambassador model or a trainer model, right? Because we do see how we can tap into this sustainable and supportive process for people, particularly within financial education, to have a framework to speak to their children around money and what does that mean, particularly for this program that's 3 to 5-year-olds, which to me resonated a lot because as a mom of young children, ages 4 and 6, I struggle with having a platform to talk to my kids about money. And this is a toolkit that actually is written. We were very fortunate to have a special staff person who was an expert in early education. And what I know of in this field around financial education, it all starts at kindergarten. There's really nothing that I know of that's available for 3 to 5-year-olds. And so this, what we found, is very enriching because we were encouraging, and it showed that parents were likely to have a savings account after the program. It's a 5-week module, about an hour and a half per week, available in English and in Spanish, and it offers workshops with parents and their children to play activities like bingo. Children are learning how to name money, what it looks like. It's written so that it's addressing developmentally and cognitive appropriate milestones such as delayed gratification. And the other enriching thing that we found is that parents are spending on average 2 hours more with their children per week than they otherwise wouldn't have, and have a framework to engage in conversations around money with their children. So, we're not imposing any values around money, that parent and the households, caretakers work with their families around prioritizing what's important to them when it comes to money. And seeing that parents and caretakers are able to establish savings accounts for their children, it increases the probability of them accessing college and finishing.
Just on that point, I've often thought about, when you're a lower income family, it's hard to save. You've got rent to pay, you've got daily expenses, you've got food, right? But one very attainable, potentially attainable goal is saving for a city college's education. If you start early enough, it doesn't take too much, right? You think about our tuition today, you'd save a little over $100 a year, okay? And you're well on the way to a year's worth of starter education. And so just something for us to think about, right? The act of saving, to know that you can get a quality education for your children at a low cost. So look, I'm out of time, right? So she says, she actually went like this. That's my timekeeper, Dr. Stacy Thompson. I want to thank you all. Okay? This is really important work. I know that you all activated the organizations to be of service. You have incredibly important missions to our community. Our students live in context. They live in the context of Chicago, in communities, in living statuses, in housing conditions, all of that within the food insecurity that they have. And it's our responsibility, not just to provide a high-quality education, right, but to ensure that every one of our students have an exceptional student experience, throughout their journey at CCC. And we know that together we can produce an exceptional student experience. So for that, on behalf of our students, our faculty, our staff, our parents, we thank you so much. Okay, and that thank you goes to everyone else out here that was here. Okay? All right.
Belnick to the stage from Road Trip Nation to take us into the next portion of our program.
Hi, I'm Sarah Belnick with ECMC Foundation, and we are thrilled to partner with Road Trip Nation and City Colleges of Chicago on this work, and want to thank City Colleges for hosting this event this morning. It is pretty amazing to look out in this room and know that everyone here is committed to making post-secondary education accessible, affordable, and effective for everyone through partnership. ECMC Foundation is a national post-secondary funder. We are based in Los Angeles, but we work nationally to inspire and facilitate improvements that affect educational opportunities through evidence-based innovation. Many of our partners are in this room today, so thank you for coming and for being part of this conversation. In collaboration with Road Trip Nation, ECMC Foundation is a proud sponsor of the One Step Closer film. It's a documentary showcasing how community colleges can be used as a launch pad to higher education, specialized skills, and rewarding careers. In the upcoming clip, you'll hear more from 3 amazing community college students, Becca, Melanie, and Armand, as they traveled across the country, where they got to interview professionals who got their start at community college. They were able to see firsthand how community colleges are helping students across the country identify their passions and realize their potential. We hope you enjoy your journey. Thank you so much for being here.
People do that, that it's better to go off to the 4 years, go to regular college, go to a real college.
We have so much untapped potential in our community colleges, and we need to do more to unlock it.
I'm going to be going on this road trip with 2 other community college goers.
We are going to travel around the United States
And interview super successful people who also attend community college. Getting inspiration and motivation from them as far as what is it that I should be doing for myself in my life. We're going to start in California and make our way over the East Coast, like in an RV for 3 weeks.
The mission for me is to figure out what I want to do. It's more than just traveling and like seeing places.
This might be super life-changing. Going to community college and then going on this road trip, it's a step to finding ourselves. Today's day 1, Armand and Becca, they are amazing. Like our energies just flowed when we first met. We're about to like meet the RV. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually unpack. It's ours. Yeah.
What? We are home for 3.5 weeks. Oh.
We just finished unpacking and getting ourselves settled in our new little home. It's really awesome. Right now it feels like a dream. I'm waiting for it to like feel real. I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be like we're driving down the road. I'm like, oh my god, we're on a road trip.